about the dead woman who breastfed her infant, and after a year she was resurrected. After the ascension of the Lord, and 15 years after the martyrdom of the proto-martyr St. Stephen, and being expelled from Jerusalem by the Romans, of course, the Roman Empire, all the apostles and those who preached Christ, there was a disciple named Maximinus who protected Martha and Mary Magdalene at the behest of St. Peter. And the Hebrews, seeing that these three continued to preach the name of the Christ with boldness, sent them along with Maximilla and Calidonius, the one who was born blind and was healed by the Lord, in a boat without oars, so that the wind would take them and they would be done away with. The 5 Christians begged God to lead them to wherever his grace wanted, and finally they arrived in a region of France called Marseille. We know that Mary Magdalene, the name Magdalene is very common in France because they revere Saint Mary Magdalene. At that time, of course, cities were kingdoms. Now, when they got out of the boat and praised God, they went to the market, hoping that someone would give them alms so that they could go. But the people were idolaters and did not show them mercy. But there was in the city a childless ruler who saw in his vision at night a woman saying to him, "You are sleeping, resting in bed with your wife, you wretch, who have all the goods, while the servants of God are dying of hunger. When you get up in the morning, go to the market, take those 5 strangers and rest them in your house. If you don't listen to me, you will have a bad and ugly death." The ruler and his concubine were afraid, so they took them to their palace and took care of them. After a few days, listening to the teaching of Mary Magdalene, who preached Christ, the true God, and his miracles, the ruler said to her, "If Christ, whom you preach to be omnipotent, gives me a child as I desire, I command you to become a Christian and to destroy all these idols." Mary replied, "Not only this grace can the Lord Christ grant you, but also any other you wish. Only believe in him without hesitation, and you will know his power." In a few days his wife became pregnant, and immediately everyone in the palace was baptized Christian. The ruler, out of his piety, wanted to go to the Holy Land to worship, and his wife begged him with tears to take her with him. In his place he left Mary as his guardian, giving her the keys to the city and the authority to destroy the idol altars, build temples, and whatever else she thought fit. On the first day of their journey, a contrary wind rose, and they were forced to stop for a long time at a port. When they set out again, the time had come for the woman to give birth, and with much suffering, she brought forth a son into the world, and immediately the child died. The ruler was very sad, but was not scandalized, losing his faith. They went to a deserted place and left the dead woman there in a cave with the infant, and prayed to the Holy Mother of God to give her protection. He continued his journey towards Jerusalem and went by land to the holy city, and there, by the will of God, he found the apostle Peter and announced to him what had happened. And Peter answered him, "Peace be with you, who believed in the saving message. As for your wife, do not be sad, for the Lord is able to turn your sorrow into joy and gladness." And he guided him to the places where the Lord performed miracles: the Last Supper, the garden, Golgotha, the Mount of Olives, from which he ascended to heaven, and taught the ruler all things concerning the divine economy and the salvation plan of God and faith. And after he had stayed there for a year, St. Peter sent him away to return home. After a few days, they found themselves in the wilderness, where he had left his wife and child, and inside the cave he saw the infant being suckled by a dead woman, who was, however, as he had left her. And then with tears he prayed to the Lord to resurrect his wife, so that his sorrow might be turned into double joy, as Peter had told him. And oh, the miracle! The dead woman resurrected and said, "O my sweetest lady, blessed be your name, for you have sheltered me and nourished my child for so many days." And she continued by saying to her husband, "Know that all the holy places that St. Peter showed you, I also saw them, accompanied by an angel of God." and they returned to their country, Marseille, that is, of France, and there they worshipped. They told Mary and told her what had happened, and all those who were in the city were baptized, and they demolished all the idols and built holy churches and did many good deeds to the glory of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. And this is from the book Salvation of Sinners. And this is, of course, a true story of Mary Magdalene and her apostolate in France. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.